let's get to going. I feel like taking off my shoes, get myself comfy. There we go, much better. I feel free. Ooh, my feet smell a little bit. Do apologize. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Wake Up Wednesday. Yes, we are back. It makes me so happy to say that. I haven't filmed the Wake Up Wednesday in forever, but we are back and I'm so happy to have them back. I know that Wake Up Wednesdays are something that you guys are very, very familiar with, but just in case you are new to the family and you have no idea what a Wake Up Wednesday is, basically a Wake Up Wednesday is a video that I release every single Wednesday to basically wake you up, to get you out of your slumber, not physically, more metaphorically. So if, for example, for a very, very long time, you've lost motivation, you've lost encouragement, you've been thinking about doing something for a while, but just never taken action, I'm basically the person that pushes you over the edge of the cliff, or that pushes you to just go and get things done. I basically trigger you. I stir the pot where you don't want me to stir. I get all up in your business. And as people say, I come for people's necks. But I think that is really important, just because sometimes you do lose that motivation, and sometimes you just need somebody to encourage you and to push you and to basically empower you so that you can feel like, yeah, do you know what? I can go and do this. And that is basically moi. So we are back with another Wake Up Wednesday, and today we're talking all about vulnerability. So I'm going to give you the chance. Go grab a drink, grab whatever it is, a snack, a drink, whatever you need to do to sit down and get yourself ready, because we're about to go in. So I started off this conversation or this topic on my Insta stories not too long ago. If you're not already following me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of that good stuff, make sure you follow me, subscribe, etc. Everything is Missy T, so it's nice and easy to find me. But basically, I went on my Insta story and I do something called Carpool Conversations. Every single Monday, I basically go on there and I have a conversation about something. I bring up a topic, kind of like Wake Up Wednesdays, but just in my car instead while I'm driving. And what I basically spoke about recently was the importance, why it is important to be vulnerable. And this came after I basically went to a meeting not too long ago. I'm not going to go into the details of what the meeting was about, what it was for, etc. But just know that it wasn't anything that was difficult to talk about, but it certainly meant that in this meeting, the people that were there, i.e. myself and the other people that were there, we had to open up a bit and be quite honest about certain things that were going on in a particular area that we were discussing. And what I found was that there were a lot of people who were quite standoffish, which is natural and normal. And again, I said this when I was talking about it on my Insta story. I was saying how it's absolutely normal to be standoffish. It's absolutely normal to kind of think, should I open up? Shouldn't I open up? Now, let me tell you, before I even get into the depth of this video, let me tell you right now, it is not everybody that you need to be vulnerable to. You do not need to be vulnerable to everyone or open up yourself to everyone, okay? Because not everybody is for you. Not everybody wants the best for you. Not everybody will give you sound or wise advice. So I recommend be very, very careful when it comes to opening up to people. However, I feel as though it is really important that when you are put in a setting or in an environment where you're being asked to open up, I think it's also very important for you to do that. Whether it be a relationship, maybe a lot of people find it difficult to be vulnerable and open up in their relationship because they've been hurt in the past, things have happened. Again, guard your heart, protect yourself, make sure that you are sure about the person or the people that you're opening up yourself towards. But once you get to that point and there's a discussion being had, I think it's really important that we get to a point where you can be vulnerable. There is something so empowering about vulnerability. A lot of people get the misconception that vulnerability makes you weak. When you are vulnerable, because vulnerability is essentially you showing your weak spots, right? Or your blind spots, or the areas that you maybe are not so proud of. Yes, you're opening up that door, but do you know how much power actually comes from being vulnerable? There is so much more power that comes from being vulnerable than anything else. And I said this in my Insta story. I said, vulnerability is more about you than about that other person. You might be looking at that person and thinking, I don't want to be vulnerable towards you because I feel like you're going to hurt me, or I feel like you're going to take what I have to say and you're going to run with it or do something negative with it. But let me remind you that the moment in which you own that thing or that issue or that problem or that the point in your life, that series in your life, the moment that you own it and you allow yourself to open up and to speak on it and be like, yes, this happened. Yes, this is what was going on. Yes, this is what I experienced. It loses its hold and its power over you. So it can no longer be something that you sit there and are ashamed of. So that's why I say that there is so much power in vulnerability. The moment that you can open up and say, listen, yes, I experienced this. Yes, I went through this. And you open up yourself to other people. Number one, it allows you to reclaim power over that thing. When you hid it, when you were ashamed, when you were embarrassed to talk about it or to say it, it carried power. Power that it does not deserve to have over you. But the moment you put it out there and you open it up and you say, do you know what? It is what it is. And guess what? It was a part of my experience then, but that is not necessarily who I am now. The moment you do that, you take back all the power and you say, do you know what? This thing, it might seem like a huge thing in my mind and in my heart, but now that it's out there, it can no longer hold power over me. And nobody can ever turn around and go and try and spread anything about me. Because I think something else that people get worried about is that if I am vulnerable, what if someone goes and uses it against me? The moment that you speak on it, the moment that it comes out of your own mouth and you own it and you sit there and you say, do you know what? Yes, that was me. It loses all its power. The only reason someone can go and talk about you behind your back is if you haven't yet declared it to everyone, because it's a secret. It's something that you are trying to keep under wraps. You're trying to sweep under the carpet. The more and more you do that, the more powerful it becomes in that person's hands. But the moment that you allow yourself to have the space to be vulnerable, it also allows you the space to grow. Guys, there is so much. I don't even know how better to phrase it, other than to say there is so much power, there is so much beauty, there is so much strength in being vulnerable, because it allows you to not only look at that thing, but it also allows you to review it and then to say, okay, now how do I move forward? This thing did happen, or this problem did occur. And do you know what? Actually, I can see that it's been occurring for a little while. And actually, maybe it's because I'm the one that's doing X, Y, and Z, or I've been used to performing in X, Y, and Z way, or whatever it is. It allows you to self-assess. It allows you to look at yourself and think, do you know what? Maybe I am a bit of the problem. What do I do moving forward? How can I change things? How can I get better? And you guys already know, Wake Up Wednesdays and my channel as a whole is all about advancing. It's all about being more and doing more. It's all about getting better and progressing. If you are staying in the same place, not allowing yourself to speak on those vulnerable moments, especially because that could actually empower other people. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But if you're not allowing yourself to just take those things and to own it, I'm telling you right now, you will never grow, because you will always see that as a side of you that's almost like a blotch or a fault or a flaw. And I think we're in a time now where more and more people are accepting themselves, flaws and all. Now, something else that I really wanted to talk to you guys about in terms of vulnerability and its importance is also the fact that vulnerability can actually help so many people. So as I mentioned before, vulnerability first is about you. It's not about helping anyone else. It's not about making anyone else feel better, because sometimes actually you could be putting yourself or your neck on the line, but it's about you. It's about you reclaiming whatever it is, reclaiming that power and saying, do you know what? I'm not going to let this get on top of me. That's number one. But number two, after you've gotten past that point, being vulnerable can impact more people than you could even imagine. The reason why so many of us connect with, all the people that we love or all the people that we look up to is because at some point, at some, stage or whatever, we connected to their humanity. So while you might see someone and you might love their art and their talent, maybe they're a musician, maybe they're an artist, or maybe even just in terms of, they're a doctor or a lawyer, whatever it is, someone that you basically admire, I guarantee you fell even more in love with them when you heard their story. They gave themselves the space to be vulnerable. So for example, why I fell in love with Oprah, even though she's been doing some stuff recent, but that's a story for another day. But why I initially fell in love with Oprah, one, because she's super talented. Like, she's amazing. Oprah is just Oprah. She has made such a big name for herself. She's one of the richest women in the world, one of the richest black women on this planet. She's achieved so much. She's done amazing things, but yada, yada, yada. But what really, really made me appreciate her and connect with her on a different level was when I then saw her doing interviews or sharing her story in terms of, being molested when she was a child, getting pregnant when she was really young, then go through a miscarriage, just all of these different experiences that she went through, the pain, the hurt, all of those things that she went through that made her the woman that she is. Why? Because she showed her humanity. Yes, she is this incredible person up here, but she showed her humanity. I guarantee you, people fell even more in love with Beyonce when Lemonade came out, and when she finally started opening up, not necessarily in a very open and blunt way, i.e. sitting and doing interviews with Oprah and all those other people, Gayle King and whoever it is, and exposing the things that have been going on in her life, but through her music, being vulnerable. So even before Lemonade, she did a song talking about the fact that she went through miscarriage, something that millions of women experience across the world every single day. So again, people are able to connect with her humanity. They're able to see that, you know what? This woman, yes, she's amazing, she's talented, but she connects with me because she knows what I've been through. She can experience the hurt. Like, she experienced the hurt that I'm experiencing right now. And that allows people to appreciate you, your craft, and everything that you're about even more. You don't know who you could be saving, whether it be their marriage, their relationship, or just their life, because you allow yourself to be vulnerable. You allow yourself to speak your truth. Someone else who you guys know I love and appreciate is Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas always talks about the fact that he grew up poor. He, was homeless. He was eating out of trash cans. That is a story that he tells all the time. Number one, the fact that he owns his truth. It means that nobody can ever try and use it against him. Look at you. You never went to school. Something else he talks about was the fact that I think a 1-year degree, he did it in 4 years, or did it in a longer period than he was supposed to. But now that he's owned that story and he's like, yeah, this was me, but I still did it, no one can ever turn around and be like, look at this guy, he's stupid, he couldn't even finish his education, he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. No one can ever do that, because he allowed himself to be vulnerable. And that will encourage the people who have found academia difficult, or will encourage the people who have been homeless or gone through a really, really rough period. So things like that, vulnerability, guys, allows you to possess so much power. When you allow yourself the space to reclaim your power through your stories and the things that you've been through, I'm telling you, what you get on the other side of it is so, so powerful. They really do say, and I know that Will Smith, I don't know if he coined this phrase or if he came up with it, but it's a phrase that I know that he said, and I'm basically paraphrasing, but every extraordinary thing or amazing thing that you look for is on the other side of your fear. If you just allowed yourself to get past the point of fearing being vulnerable, I'm telling you, there is so much that you could unlock on the other side. Anyway, guys, I really do hope that you enjoyed our conversation today about vulnerability. Personally, I think it is a very, very important topic to touch on. And like I said before as well, something I want you to remember is that you don't have to be vulnerable to everyone. So I'm not telling you to go and just anybody that you make friends with today, you start telling them your life story. Make sure you guard your heart at all times. So be wise and think about who you're being vulnerable to. But also, it is very important to be vulnerable because it allows you the space to grow and also to reclaim power over that thing that you might be afraid of, or you might be ashamed of, or whatever it is. So it will actually help you before it helps anybody else. So I really do hope that you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And of course, please make sure you comment in the comment section below. I'd love for you guys to maybe express where you've been afraid to talk about certain things, or maybe this is your chance right now. I challenge you, be vulnerable. Share something in the comment section that you've maybe never shared before, or that you've always wanted to share. It might be something that you've been through, something that you have seen, something that you've enjoyed, something that you've overcome, whatever it is. Feel free. Let's be free. We're a family here. We're a community. So make sure you comment in the comment section below. Anyway, I am going to go, and don't forget as well, guys, to click on that bell button so that you're notified every single time I post a video. I love you guys always, and I'll see you guys again next week for another Wake Up Wednesday. Stay beautiful.